What is up, guys? Welcome to my channel, Psych-Pass Shoot Score. My name is Philip and I'm a sports psychology consultant, and what I basically do is work with athletes and work with teams, work with coaches as well in developing their mental side, the mental side of their sports and the mental side of their performance. And so on this channel, what I like to do is discuss anything anime, sports and sports psychology related. So if any of those topics interest you, hit that subscribe button. And so what I'm going to be doing today in this video is reviewing the highly popular basketball documentary, The Last Dance. They just came out with episode 7 and episode 8. So I'm going to be reviewing that from a sports psychology perspective. So hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, let's get into it. So in these couple of episodes, I feel what we saw a lot more was kind of Jordan's more leadership style and his more leadership abilities. In the first couple of episodes, they showed a little bit about that in terms of when he was entering the league, he understood he couldn't really talk to his teammates to try and lead them to progress. So to change the culture, what he more did was lead through his actions, lead through his scoring and his defense and his plays on the court. But then now towards the later years of his career, he had that respect and he had that admiration from his teammates, so he can more lead through his words. And we can see a lot more of that leadership style throughout these 2 episodes, and that more kind of sparked my interest in kind of how he led his team. And there was a lot more through kind of a fear factor, through holding everyone to a high standard and wanting to achieve that standard, not only just in every single game, but in every single practice. And if teammates weren't going to elevate to that level, then he's not going to trust them when the game is at its most pressured points. And so that was a very unique kind of leadership style, and I feel that was a leadership style which helped some people, but maybe not everyone. For example, Steve Kerr and them two getting into a little fight. But then his leadership style was very clear and very clear cut in comparison to Scottie Pippen's. So when Michael Jordan kind of retired that first time, Scottie Pippen kind of elevated and became that leader. And his leadership style was very, very different from Michael Jordan's. He was more of a supportive role and more of a kind of caring and wanting to build up the teammates. And those are 2 very great leadership styles, but they're very unique. And so from a sports psychology perspective, these leadership styles are styles in which I teach athletes and coaches, as well as it's evident within sports psychology research in general. And so if you think of leadership, it's kind of on a continuum. So on one side, there's autocratic leadership, and that's a style of more being task orientated, more for a dictator style to their teammates. And that's kind of the style that Michael Jordan has when he was leading the Bulls. And then in the middle, that's more of a democratic leadership style. And that's more of a leadership style which is more team development, and that's more elevating the team as a whole to try and achieve their goal. And that's more of the leadership style that Scottie Pippen had when he was leading the Bulls. And then there's another one on the far end which wasn't really evident within these 2 episodes, but I think it'll be interesting to kind of tell you guys, and it's more laissez-faire. And that's a leadership style where the leader of the team doesn't really have an active role within developing the team and kind of leaves the team to kind of do whatever they want to do. But coming back to the 2 leadership styles which were evident in the episodes, I think they're both very successful. On one hand, Michael Jordan was able to lead the Bulls to 3 championships, and then on the other hand, Scottie Pippen, although they didn't win the championship when he was leading them, they did have a successful season and they were able to make the playoffs and at least win around there. So on some level, that is kind of a successful leadership style. But that's the thing, another interesting thing about Scottie Pippen's leadership style, although it's very team orientated and wanting to elevate the group, when the team needed him most in the playoffs, in those dying moments, instead of accepting his role within the team play of inbounding the ball, he wanted to kind of be the guy who actually takes the shots and hopefully made the shot. But then instead of accepting his role, he more kind of sulked and didn't really show that kind of team aspect of accepting his role within the play and hoping that it all went well. style and really being a team player. So although on one side he did show those leadership abilities of wanting to develop the team throughout the season, when the game was on the line and it was very pressured, he didn't really show that as well. And that maybe shows that leadership isn't something that you can just come and do within like 1 or 2 seasons. It's something that has to be developed over time. And Michael Jordan had that development from the late 80s to like where they were in the 93 season, whereas Scottie Pippen didn't really have that leadership experience because Michael Jordan was on the court. But it's just very interesting to see how those dynamics of his leadership ability were evident in some times, but then not evident when it was very pressured. But with both of these leadership styles, one thing which really needs to be taken into account is the team in which that leader is leading. And so a leadership style is only very effective depending on the team which they're leading. And as you can see, the Bulls were more situated towards Michael Jordan's leadership style, and that's what helped them kind of win their championships. But although Michael Jordan won all those championships, one thing you need to take into account is that when Steve Kerr came onto the team later on, that leadership style didn't work with him, and that's what resulted in them two fighting. So although for one season that leadership style could be effective, it depends on the teammates that you have and depends on the environment in which you're leading, which can really impact the performance on the court. And so another thing which was interesting, not just the leadership styles, but also seeing MJ's response when he was watching Gary Payton's interview, as well as when BJ Armstrong was interviewing and talking about his moment in the 98 playoffs. So it's really just interesting to see the mindset of Michael Jordan back then and how dedicated he was to winning. And you can definitely tell that elevated the team to win that championship that season. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more reactions, seeing more behind the scene clips, and just the mindset of Michael Jordan, as well as the mindset of the team, the mindset of the coach just going into that season, and how the media played into that, and just the whole culture within that time. But that ends today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content just like this. If you haven't seen my other reviews, go check those out. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.